Hi, I'm Kimberly Schneiderman, Senior Practice Development Manager at RiseSmart, here with the weekly tip. Applicant Tracking System software has been around for decades. It's the software used by companies to manage incoming applications and resumes. Last week, I had the pleasure of hearing from Matt Becker, a franchise owner of the national recruiting firm PrideStaff and daily user of ATS software. His insight was quite valuable as he went beyond the usual points about selection of keywords and got into the ways his recruiting firm actually benefits from the software. Here's a bit of what I learned. Every company is different. About 95% of all Fortune 500 and about 50% of mid-sized companies use an ATS to manage applications. There are 200 plus different types and versions of ATS on the market today, and each company establishes its own rules, keywords, and processes. If you submit an application and resume to a company and then submit a second application for a different position, the ATS will flag the second submission as a duplicate. Now, that isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially if the positions that you're applying for are similar. The recruiter will have access to both applications and resumes that you submit. Next is the resume format. Resume format for the ATS really does matter. The way an ATS handles Microsoft Word features and options is inconsistent at best. Becker limits there are times that his system parses features such as columns correctly and times that it doesn't. The best practice of saving the more creative looking resume for an in-person meeting still rings true. And next, recruiters use their ATS to track interactions with candidates. They will document meetings, conversations, interview feedback, assessment scores, background screening, and whether or not you ever stand them up for a meeting. Ever. Don't ghost a recruiter, even if you don't think that you're interested in the position. It's documented and tracked forever. Chances are strong that the recruiter in the company will never consider you for a position again, no matter how well qualified you are. And finally, there will always be some mystery about how a company uses its ATS. Keyword selection could be a bit unpredictable, and you can't know how many applications a recruiter has received for an open position. Becker definitely knew his way around the ATS, but it was his last point that really resonated with me. He said, don't try to beat the ATS. Work around it. Use networking to connect with recruiters and hiring managers. You will always win. At RiseSmart, we couldn't have said it better ourselves. Thank you for joining me today. For more ideas in your career transition, be sure to tune in to upcoming webinars.